What's up, college football fans? Don't forget to check out and order your copy of Stiff Arming Football Myths, our latest football game plan book. So go on our website at footballgameplan.com/books and get your copy. We have these available in paperback as well as in PDF form. Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the Czar of the playbook, and I'm here with another edition of Talking Ball with the Czar, sitting with BJ Hall, assistant coach here at Canterbury Prep. BJ, how's it going?
How you doing, man?
Cool, thanks for taking time for me today. He's also the founder of Team Florida, and we'll get to that in a second. But BJ, you've played the indoor game, you played the outdoor game, you played in the CFL, arena football. How has that experience helped you now as a coach?
It's helped me a lot, man. To be honest, just learning all the nuances of different schemes and learning from great coaches. At each level, I can say I've had pretty good coaches to kind of teach me the game of football. And while I was there, I pretty much told them, when I was done playing, I wanted to be a coach. So I always picked their brain, and they, pretty much showed me the ropes. Like, I would stay after, I'd be the first one in, last one out. And I would be with the coaches after practice, like, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is how you learn. And that's how I pretty much, decided I want to be a coach after football.
Now with Team Florida, which is a 7-on-7 league, what are you trying to accomplish, and what's your main goal for these guys for when they leave your program?
Just to give these guys an opportunity, man. When I was coming up, you didn't have this opportunity. Now 7-on-7 is similar to AAU basketball, giving guys a chance, to showcase their talent in front of college scouts. With these guys, I formatted it where it's just not about football. I want to give them a chance to go to college, but also, teach them how to be great human beings in society. We do more than just for like 7-on-7 football. We do, charity events around the communities. We do, we take them to church. We have a big plan on what we want to do with these guys. It's a pretty good deal, I believe, on what we're doing for this county.
Now, when those guys come in, do you see them being more receptive to 7-on-7? Because it's a little different than when we grew up. It really has boomed. What has been the reception from these guys?
I think everybody enjoys it. With it just being skill positions, I think they transition pretty well. With every skill position, you do scouting anyway. You do 7-on-7 to prepare. So, I think it's an easy transition for the guys, but also give them a chance to compete versus the best.
Now, why do you think 7-on-7 has grown in popularity over, let's say, I graduated high school in '99. I know I'm probably a little bit older than you,
right?
But we've seen a boom in this aspect of football. And why do you think it has grown so tremendously over the course of the years?
Well, I think because, every kid wants a shot to be recruited. And with this now, it's every recruiting service that you can think of at all of these events. You may get a guy that has no stars but comes to a 7-on-7 event and competes and plays at a high level, that may get a star, that may get seen by one of the top recruiting services, and now he's seen by the entire nation. So it's a platform for the kid to showcase his talent, throughout the country, not just the state of Florida. You got the other teams like Team Tampa and unsigned preps over in Tampa who've been around for a while, and they have a lot of the 4- and 5-star guys, but we got guys over here with 4- and 5-star guys as well. So they just want a shot to be seen. They pretty much dominate on the field here in Pinellas County, but on the off season, who wouldn't love to showcase their talent for a whole season and doesn't have to bang up their body, but showcase versus the top talent.
Now, you mentioned off season. So you saying that guys that are part of Team Florida play regular football, traditional football during the regular season, and now what would be technically the off season, let's say spring, winter, this is when they come in and play 7-on-7.
Exactly. And what we do is not just going out and lining up. We have film study. We have chalk talk, they come up and they're learning. So, a smart kid and a smart parent that understands, that they want to advance and learn year round, this is a good platform for them.
Now explain what a kid that's
look at what can a kid expect to gain and what they can expect to leave with Team Florida from, with their experience with Team Florida?
I think the key word is knowledge. Mm-hmm. You get a lot of kids that have a lot of talent. You get a lot of kids with, God-given ability, but a lot of them don't have it up here, mm-hmm. where it's not their fault they wasn't, some of them, wasn't taught or whatever the case may be. But with coming out of 707, you get a lot of guys that, former professional athletes, mm-hmm. that teach the right way of learning. So I think, with a kid coming through here, you can expect to gain knowledge of the game and also to gain exposure, for college scouts to look at.
Now, BJ, you played quarterback at Troy, Sunbelt football, then you went down to Weber International, mm-hmm. played there, you played in the arena, you played Canadian football, indoor football. You played the most scrutinized position mm-hmm. in the game, the quarterback position. But what's one of the biggest myths you think that's out there that you hear people talk about your position when they're speaking about football?
I would say, man, just taking on the role of the good and the bad. It's a tough position, but you got to have the mindset for it. Mm-hmm. People don't understand. A lot of people think the quarterbacks, they get all of the glory. They're the top position of the team. They are, but at the same time, there's a lot that weighs in on what the quarterback does. Mm-hmm. As far as game prep, we're the first ones in, the last ones out. A lot of people don't see behind the scenes of what we do. So, to be scrutinized, and we understand that comes with it. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, there's a lot that we put in, and we understand that comes with the territory.
Now, you guys, there's certain quarterbacks that get even more scrutinized. I think you could read between the lines there, but why do you think that happens? And what's one of the biggest misconceptions you see about that scrutinization coming from people when they're talking about certain quarterbacks?
Well, if we're talking about the black quarterbacks, we can go ahead.
Let's get it out there. Okay, that's what we're talking about.
Well, I think, with the black quarterback, I think it starts, back in the 70s and the 60s, and where, the technology from then and now, it's totally different. For media, whoever, to scrutinize a quarterback based off his color, I think is insane now, because the technology is different, the learning scale is much higher. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of people now don't understand the advancement of the quarterback position, especially young quarterbacks who learn from a young age. Mm-hmm. You get a lot of quarterbacks that have played the position no matter their height. I mean, the Russell Wilsons, he's a minority quarterback who, he's probably played the position since he was 7. Right. And the technology that he learned from when he was probably 13 on is probably top of the line. Mm-hmm. I believe his dad was a quarterback coach and played in the league. And, the things he probably taught him from when he was young until, now, and the technology that he gained, you can't put a price tag on that. Mm-hmm. You get a lot of guys like Cam Newton. You get a guy like RG3. Those guys I feel get scrutinized because they feel like they can't read the defenses. They feel like the mechanics are wrong. But a lot of it is, what are they being taught? You got to go back to the roots of it. You got to go back to high school. You got to go back to college. What were they really being taught? Mm-hmm. And, now you get to a point where you put them in a system. Now you're running the right system for that quarterback. I mean, I think that's what it comes down to. You want to be successful, you put the right system in place mm-hmm. for this quarterback to be successful. If you're especially if you're gonna draft him high, you're gonna draft him 1 or 2. How is he successful in college? Okay, if he was successful in a certain system, that's the system you implement. You don't try to add what you're doing and then make him learn, and it's gonna take you 2 to 3 years anyway. That's just what it is from being a quarterback. If you're in something different, it's gonna take you 2 to 3 years to pretty much learn that. Now you get a couple that come in the right system and do well. Who did well this year was the guy from the Oakland Raiders. Mm-hmm. I think he had a pretty good system, but he was used to being a gunslinger. He was pretty much in that similar offense in college, so it worked out for him.
Now, you played, again, arena, Canadian. You hear people all the time talking about the quarterback position. Well, if you can't make it here, tell him go to Canada, tell him go to the arena. But it's a totally different game. Both games are totally different, especially from your position.
Right. It's definitely a totally different game. Both of those leagues were much faster than the traditional game. And it's a totally different ball game. People didn't know, but the Canadian League was originated from rugby. So you had to learn, so much. I can remember, my rookie year, the last play of the game, I threw a Hail Mary, and they told me, they yelled at me. It was like, BJ, why didn't you punt it? And nobody told me anything about punting the ball, but it was like, if you punted the ball and we received it, it's our ball, and we got an extra down. And so I was like, wow, man, like, there's so much more that I need to learn about this game. In an arena, the speed of it, man, it's just so fast, man, and it's a different game. It's a wear and tear on your body. So you have to learn, mentally, you have to be mentally prepared and physically prepared to play that game. You can't just go in and maybe have a, Tom Brady off season or Peyton Manning off season where you just throwing it. You got to really condition your body, have your body pretty much conditioned for that, because you're going into walls, playing on turf that takes off your skin. It's like a car wreck every game because it's so small, man. So it was definitely, a different transition for me, going to both of those leagues, but I learned a lot.
Well, BJ, we wrapping up here, 5 minutes with the Czar, and just want to, say thank you again for taking time. Tell everybody where you can find out more information about Team Florida.
You can find us on Facebook at Team Florida Football, also Twitter at Team Florida Football, and also our website, www.teamfloridafootball.com. And
what you got coming up down the pike this season with these guys at Team Florida?
Well, we'll be traveling all over the state of Florida, playing against some of the top, competition, that this country has to offer, man. So you'll see a look out for us, man.
Look out for Team Florida, and for more football game plan youth segments, visit our website at footballgameplan.com/FBGPU.